Thank you so much, David, for letting me be here. Unfortunately, he asked me to speak on a topic that I know is near and dear to your heart, so I'll talk a little bit about a subject that you possibly don't know much about, actually. Let me pose this question. You walk into the supermarket, you're really thirsty, and you bust through the doors and you want something to drink, and all you can buy is Coke or Pepsi. Or you don't buy anything. Therefore, you don't quench your thirst. Are you happy with the fact that the convenience store, the A&P, the Winn-Dixie, the supermarket, the 7-Eleven, the Stop and Rob only offers 2 choices to drink? I mean, does that, you just went running, right? You just been on a long trip cross country. Are you okay with 2 choices to drink? Do you know how many sodas are on the marketplace? Anyone have an idea how many different flavors, name brands? At least 50. How many, quote, bottled water are there being marketed right now? More than a dozen. And a country formed on the foundation of government by the people, of the people, and for the people can only buy Coke or Pepsi? It defies logic, actually. Because, unfortunately, in this quagmire that's happening in the Middle East, where our fellow citizens are dying by the day, up to 4,000 of them, when they held their first election, did they have 2 choices? Or did they have more? They had a boatload more. David asked me to speak about the concept of what's called ballot access, specifically here in the state of Texas. See, our government of the people, by the people, and for the people really isn't your government. Because if it was your government, you could just run for office and be on the ballot. Because you're exercising your freedom of speech right to participate in your God-given right of your own democratic process. Doesn't that sound logical based upon the founders and what they gave us? They did not give us a corporate interest government that said, oh, well, if you'd like to run for office, then these forms over here you have to fill out. You need to get these people on board over here. You need to show the community that you have supporters. And when you do that, then we'll let you participate in your democratic process. That doesn't sound like a country based upon freedom and liberty, does it? It can't quite possibly meet the definition of a country based upon freedom and liberty. Therefore, the whole notion that government gets to dictate to its citizens who can participate and how they can participate is absurd. You may not be aware of this, but the Texas Election Code actually states that when you vote in a primary, you actually have joined that political party for that election cycle, that entire election year. So if you vote, that's a big if, but if you vote in a primary come March 2nd, a couple weeks from now, whichever party you vote in, you have been deemed a member of that party by Texas law. Does that make you all warm and fuzzy? A lot of us are going, I don't like that. And not only that, we have folks that actually want to enter into the democratic process based upon principles that might not be the same principles of other folks. So we call these other people other parties. The problem is they never get to play in the game. They never get to participate. They don't have the ability to actually get on the field and run their plays and see what happens. I think that's an affront to our entire concept of freedom and liberty in this country. And I want to encourage you to talk to your state rep, because that's who you have to talk to about this. Your state house rep and your state senator. That the whole concept that government is the barrier. They're the gatekeeper for you. Make this personal. Hey, for me to participate and to run for office requires me to jump through government's hoops. Well, who owns the process? See, the primary is actually a private thing. The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the American Independent Party, the Constitution Party, the Ralph Nader Party, the Natural Law Party, the Communist Party, the Green Party. Those are actually private groups. And yet government intersects into them, as is typical, and demands of them certain things that you and I would never demand of each other. So if we have our God-given right to defend ourselves, and if we have our God-given right to speak our mind, and we have a political system of the people, by the people, and for the people, then, therefore, we have a God-given right to participate in that system without government encroaching upon that ability. Here in the great state of Texas, whose slogan during the Declaration in the independence years of the country, the Republic of Texas, was God in Texas. In this state of Texas, to participate, if you're not on the ballot already, which is normally Coke and Pepsi, R&D, Republican Democrat, normally those are your two choices. So if anyone else wants to play in the sandbox over here, they've got to go get signatures. And to get signatures from people, first of all, who didn't vote in that primary that's going to happen in 3 weeks from now. So all of our friends, quite possibly, who are conservative by nature, don't understand maybe the depth of the political issue like you do, on whether, a gun issue, a tax issue, a money issue. And so they're all warm and fuzzy conservatives. What are they going to do? Who are they going to vote for? What primary are they going to go into? Or are they going to withhold their vote? Most of them would say, well, I got to vote for so-and-so because I got a local race in a local county, in a local, commissioner's court or something. And they vote in a primary, which therefore excludes that conservative friend from signing, say, Melissa's petition to get on the ballot, or the Constitution Party's petition, or the American Independent Party's petition, or any other party that happens to say, we'd like to participate too. You are barred by Texas law from signing that petition because you voted in a primary. That doesn't square with the God-given right to freely express yourself. And it doesn't square with the right to participate in your own democratic process.